Disclaimer: this video may be salty. 3, 2, 1. I don't normally make videos like this. I mean, occasionally I do. I'm an expressive person. I like to put my thoughts and opinions out there, and that's kind of why I have a YouTube channel. But the specific reason I have a YouTube channel is because I love comics, and I like the joy that comics can bring, and I have a passion for the hobby and the medium, and I love talking and meeting new people that have that same love and the same passion. I wasn't originally going to do a video on this, and then I did a live stream a few nights ago. This episode 44 of my Storytime Live, which is just a hangout for comic fans. You come in 3 nights a week. I read comics live. We talk about comics. We talk about stuff in the industry, whatever. We were talking about Rocky movies on the last one too. Just whatever comes to mind, whatever the chat's talking about. It's fun. It's a comic hangout. That's why I do it. I love comics and I love the people. But unfortunately, we're also in the middle of a culture war. And I talked about this on the stream. And I thought, you know what? I didn't really want to do a video, but I got that out there. I do want my thoughts kind of down for the record, if you will. People want to know what I have to say about this topic. Here it is. So, what's going on in Twitter? Have you guys been following along the drama? Here I am telling Melissa to calm down with the drama. And, well, not that she's causing drama. I'm just saying calm down. And then here I am starting up drama. But this is something I needed to talk about. Every other comics channel's already talked about this. I thought about doing a video, but everyone's done a video. I'll just talk about it here. You might have seen that Tom King put his foot in his mouth, as he's wont to do. And he made this tweet. For those of you who aren't looking at the screen, I'll just read it to you. Today, DC put out an alternative cover to Rorschach by Jae Lee, who has also done covers for Comicsgate, a hate group. DC does not consult creators on DC does not consult creators on alternate covers. I reached out to them to express my deep disappointment. Far as I'm concerned, this is the cover to Rorschach 1, number 1, issue 1. And he posts a picture of the shitty-ass Rorschach number 1 cover, which got Rorschach in a fingerprint. It's trying to be all 70s, and it looks hideous, all in orange. And I actually like orange as a color, but this looks ugly. This is not what a comic book should look like. But Tom King is pretentious, and he wants to make his comic books look pretentious. I will not be picking this up at all. If I was, I would get the Jae Lee cover for sure. But anyways, so he took a lot of flack. Here's like Captain Frugal response. So in other words, you think you get to decide what DC does, and when you don't get your way, you cry about it and try to get them canceled. Let's see. Comics with Kellaway says, Tom King, if you're so outraged by this because of your so-called moral principles, maybe you should resign from DC Comics then. Because by your stupid logic, DC Comics is working with a hate group, and you're so high and mighty with your purity principles that you couldn't possibly stay at DC. Bow Ties Are Cool says, if it was a hate group, would an Asian man really be involved with them? And he gets plastered by so many people talking about it. So this appears shortly later that Tom retweets, and he says, I spoke with Jay. He's not on Twitter. Didn't know Comicsgate existed and doesn't support hate of any kind. We're all good. Best possible outcome. Oh, okay. I guess that's good you reached out to Jae Lee there, and he found out that he didn't actually know about CompsGate, and he was just innocent of any misgivings and misdoings or any wrong think. Good. That's good, Tom. Maybe you should have thought of that before you fucking put him on blast. You fucking asshole. We're all good now. Dave Asanowicz, friend of the channel, says, you need your grouping tighten, Tommy, you cheese dick. Captain Frugal says, maybe do some research before you try to ruin a career. Hope you learn from this, but from what you've shown, I doubt it. Lance, one of my fellow comics aficionados, says, you stink on ice. And there's lots of good comments. Again, blasting Tom King. But then there's more. Then the creme de la creme, icing on the cake, Jae Lee himself puts out a public response that gets put on Twitter. And I'm going to read it to you. For those who aren't watching, Jae Lee says, 2 weeks ago, June, his wife, and I took Loki to San Diego to see a specialist. He did not survive due to complications from the surgery. Pause for a second. I have been in those exact same shoes. I woke up I wasn't woke up. I was staying up. I was up late because I usually am. And my dog was not doing very well. It was like 4 a.m, I believe. And really not doing well. So I had to take it to a 24-hour emergency veterinarian hospital, to where I thought, we would get treatment, something would happen. It sucked and I was worried for her, but I didn't come home with her that night. And it was one of the hardest nights of my life. It destroyed me. I had a strong bond with this dog. They say like dogs are man's best friend, and that's really true. I love that dog. She was part of my family. She was very much like a kid to me. It destroyed me. So I can understand very much when I read this. I was like, I've been in these shoes. She did not survive the complications from surgery. This past Friday was supposed to be a day of mourning. We were back in San Diego to pick up his ashes. We were going to take him to the beach and comfort each other by sharing our favorite stories about our little boy. Instead, a part of the internet I avoid like the plague came barging in. I had companies I'm working for calling me, friends reaching out to me. I'm seeing hate pouring out of strangers' mouths, accusing me of things that I have no knowledge of. I'm seeing firsthand how fast lies are spreading. Let me be clear. I'm not part of any group. We never made it to the beach. We spent the entire 6-hour drive back home on an emotional roller coaster. I'm writing this because I'm angry. These irresponsible tweets are not harmless. They do not just go away. They have real-world consequences. They can take away your job, your life, your memories. June and I were robbed of a special day. So no, we're not all good. This isn't the start of a conversation. This is the end. So please, don't drag me into a world that I never wanted to be part of, nor will I ever want to be a part of. I want to honor Loki by going back to producing art made with love, for people who enjoy it for what it is, something that hopefully brings joy to their lives. Mommy and Daddy miss you very much, Loki. Our love. And my heart goes out to Jae Lee and his wife. Like I said, I know this tragedy. I still tear up today. I mean, this happened 6 years ago. And now I have another dog that I adopted, and she's doing okay now, but she's 11 years old, so she doesn't have many. I just know what it's just hard. Anyways, the key thing about this that really struck me was my emotional connection to Jae first, because I relate and what it's like to have a dog and to lose it, especially unexpectedly. You're not emotionally prepared. But what really got me was that Tom had the nerve to tweet this out first. Before I spoke with Jae, he's not on Twitter. Didn't know that Comicsgate existed, and he doesn't support any hate of any kind. We're all good. Best possible outcome. Where in fuck's name do you think that this is the best possible outcome? Because we're now learning from Jae himself that there's a different side to this story, Mr. King, in your little propaganda. Did you even talk to Jae? I don't even know if you did. It doesn't sound like you did, because he has a completely different story. But if you did talk to him, let's just assume you're telling the truth here, that you did talk to him. Did you actually tell him what happened? Or did you just make up, like, oh, hey, Jae, I just wanted to tell you I was unhappy about, that you had done some art for Comicsgate, which is a hate group, and, I wasn't really happy about it, so I kind of made some comments about it, and he's like, what the hell's Comicsgate? What are you talking about, Tom? Oh, you don't know what Comicsgate is? No, fuck, I don't know what Comicsgate is. I'm in fucking San Diego. What's going on? Oh, well, it's just a really bad group. Ethan Van Sciver is a part. What? Ethan Van Sciver? I don't have time for this, Tom. Look, I just did a cover. I don't know what Comicsgate is. Oh, okay. Really sorry to bother you, Jae. Really sorry, you and your wife. Really, please forgive me. I'm sorry. I just wanted you to know that I didn't mean anything bad by it. Okay, fine, Tom. Click. Is that what happened? Maybe. And then Tom's like, oh, hey, everyone, I talked to Jae. He didn't know. It's all good. It's cool. Sweep it all under the rug. Is that what happened? I don't know. I don't know what happened. I can't trust Tom to tell me what happened. But I know Jae's upset, and I'd be fucking livid. And I know Tom hasn't deleted these tweets because I'm showing them to you live right now. So this guy is a real piece of work. A couple weeks back, maybe it was 3 or 4, maybe it's been a month, I don't know. He decided to drag another Asian American. Remember when he decided to slam Dean Cain? This is a pattern for Tom King and his industry buddies, who, remember, also almost drove Peter Samedi, another Asian American, to suicide. Some of you guys not be aware of this. This is like 2 years ago. This seems really bigoted and hateful. And, I've been a disliker of Tom King for a while because, frankly, he writes shitty, pretentious nonsense. Heroes in Crisis is one of the worst things I've ever read. And I didn't come into that bias. If you go back, you can see in my reviews, I gave Heroes in Crisis #1 Book of the Year award. I was like, this is the best book I've read all year. The video's there. I didn't lie. But then as it went on, I got red-pilled to it, and I was like, what the hell am I reading? But I don't care. People can write bad stuff, and I'll just critique it and say this was not good stuff. But now, this is like a personal thing for me. This is like, you're a shit fucking person. And I just don't have time anymore. It's one thing if you just behave and you just have uncouth manners. Like our president, right? He's just really uncouth and he's rude. But that's just a taste thing. I don't like dealing with, fine, you're rude. I don't care. This, you tried to fucking ruin someone's life. This is a guy, Tom King, who I follow all these pros on Twitter just because I like to see what's going on, because I have a channel. And, Tom is always rubbing the fans. It's one thing, it's like, oh, you're fucking up Batman. I hate what you're doing, right? Bendis, same thing. He's fucking up Superman. Fans hate it. But Bendis just keeps doing what he's doing, and he believes he's doing the right thing, and he's friendly to everyone. Tom goes on Twitter and rubs fans' nose in it. Oh, you didn't like that I killed Alfred? Let me rub your nose in it. What are you doing? You're an asshole. And this is like the biggest asshole thing I've seen in a long time. So with that, I'm going to not talk anymore on the subject. I got it off my chest. and you guys, whether you wanted to or not, got to hear me talk about it and hear my opinions. So thank you for listening.